Sound design, one of the most crucial parts of video editing. And yet, most editors completely overlook it. The truth is, if your videos sound flat, they'll feel flat. And no amount of flashy visuals will save them. In fact, I would argue that 50% of a video's impact comes from how well you sound design. It's the difference between edits that get ignored and edits that land high-paying clients. Without this, you won't make it as a video editor, period. And I'll prove it. Watch this 10-second edit with sound design applied. So you want to take your edit to the next level. But what makes a scene truly stand out? How can you turn any animation or video into a premium-grade masterpiece? Now here's the exact same edit with the sound stripped out. So you want to take your edit to the next level. But what makes a scene truly stand out? How can you turn any animation or video into a premium-grade masterpiece? See the difference? Without sound design, this instantly drops to a 5 out of 10. But with it, it feels like a 9 or even a perfect 10. That's the power of sound design. We're literally tapping into one of the 5 human senses, hearing, to fully immerse someone in the video. And once you understand how to control that, you can control people's emotions, which directly affects retention. Your edits are no longer being just watched, they're being experienced. And in this masterclass, I'll show you exactly how to use it to make your edits stand out. Here's what we'll cover. First, my 5-step sound design workflow. I'll help you build your own SFX pack, and I'll be giving you mine completely for free. Then, I'll show you how to find the perfect background music without wasting hours scrolling through tracks. And finally, a full breakdown of the sound design in my intro of my biggest channel project, so you can see how all of this comes together in a real video. Let's begin. The first category of sound design is movement, and we're going to be doing this together. So create a folder and rename it to sound design. Inside this folder, we will create our first subfolder. Rename this one to movement. This will involve anything moving in or out of the frame, zooming, scaling, or revealing. In this folder, we will have 2 main components, which are whooshes. This is for anything moving, entering, or leaving the screen, and gears/mechanical sound effects. This is to give the movement more weight or texture. Let me show you an example. Take a look at this short edit without whooshes.
But definitely let me know in the comments if you want to see a super in-depth cap.
And now with the whooshes applied.
But definitely let me know in the comments if you want to see a super in-depth cap.
As we just saw, without the whooshes, the edit feels almost lifeless. But here's the thing, not all whooshes are the same. There are literally hundreds of variations, and if you just throw in a random one, it won't hit right. So how do you pick the ones that actually work? It's a simple system. Inside your whooshes folder, I'm going to create 2 more subfolders, one for fast movements and one for deep/slower movements. By organizing them this way, you'll always know exactly where to go instead of wasting time scrolling through endless files. This makes your sound design cleaner, faster, and way more intentional. So now, let's actually start filling these folders. You can grab sound effects for free, but paid libraries like Epidemic Sound or Artlist usually give you much higher quality options. I'm using Epidemic here because they've already organized effects into categories like whooshes and swooshes. And don't overthink the difference, they're basically the same with only subtle variations. So here's the process. I'll pull 7 to 10 whooshes that are extremely fast, and another 7 to 10 that are deep and slow. This way, you're building a ready-to-go pack, so whenever you edit, you're not stuck searching through hundreds of random files. You've got exactly what you need, organized and ready. Now, I've already done this for you, so if you want all of my exact whooshes, then copy this Google Drive link into your browser and you'll find a folder ready to go. All the ones I've used personally. Moving on, let's head over to our second folder, which was our gear/mechanical sound effects. But first, let me show you an example of how I used this, and also how Isaac used it.
Don't worry, there's a solution for that.
These effects are great for things like rotations, and even text or number animations. To build this folder, I'll search for gears on Epidemic Sound and start listening through the options. This part takes some practice. Sound design is a skill you will sharpen over time. But here's the key. Think back to the examples I just showed you and pick the effects that feel the most realistic or the closest match. Once again, I've already handpicked some that I personally love, and you will find it in this Google Drive folder with the whooshes. Now listen, if you actually want to go deeper into how I do all of this, the sound design, the animations, the edits that I make for my own channel, and even client projects, I've built something for you. I recently launched my private community called Beyond the Frame. Inside, I break down everything, every animation, every sound effect, every project file. You can literally open them up, see how everything was made, and learn from it directly. But it's not just tutorials. You also get one-on-one coaching calls with me every month, daily support whenever you need help, and even a chance to win cash prizes through community challenges. There's also a clear roadmap inside, so if you're a beginner, you get the exact blueprint that I followed to go from complete beginner to where I am now. I made this for people who are serious about editing and want to take it to that next level without spending thousands upfront. This is not a course, it's a community, it's extremely affordable, fully accessible to everyone on earth, built so even someone from the third world can break through. Now there are only 50 spots, so below you'll find a link in which you can learn more and join. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Secondly, we have textured sound designing. These are the sound effects that add polish and detail to graphics, icons, or micro animations. Basically anything that isn't covered by whooshes or mechanical sound effects. We're going to use a sound effect found in this folder. Inside this folder, I recommend creating 6 subfolders, and here's how we're going to organize them. First, we have highlights and lines. This is sounds for line animations, highlights, or even strokes being drawn. So let's take this example of a line animating, and I'll add my own marker sound effect. This can also work really well for highlights. Secondly, typing and word reveals. So this is keyboard typing sounds, spacebar. These will be mainly used for text animations. So for example, in this animation I made for AI Guy, I used a spacebar sound effect as each word appeared on the screen.
Every single video racking up views like it's nothing, and the guy.
And then obviously for any typewriter effect. Additionally, you can use a fast keyboard typing sound effect to a number counter. Our third folder will be for UI and notifications. So these are things like beeps, alerts, pop-ups, perfect for apps, icons, or interface animations. So if you look at the Apple UI style that has been trending, sound effects like these will be really dominant in those videos. Just take a look at this example.
The borders, I got what you need, Bellman, I'm online. Rap, trap, I live what I rhyme. If your plug don't pick up the phone, call mine. Wait, I'm strapping a zoot, don't care if I'm late.
And the next one is clicks. Confirmation sounds when things toggle on and off, great for UI, faceless content, transitions, or even text appearing. Now the most common use of this is when you literally have a mouse cursor on a screen clicking something. But for me personally, I've used it in different ways, for example, with these animations I made for AI Guy.
These are very typical philosophical videos that are easy to generate, covering similar stoic and spiritual niches that have gone absolutely viral.
The fifth folder I want you to create is for the camera. Shutter clicks or camera flash for transitions or sudden on-screen reveals. For example, screenshots appearing. Next up, we have glitches and electrical elements. Less common, but here's an example of me using it, and Isaac as well. Do you want to learn how to make highly engaging videos just like Isaac? This guy solved the YouTube
Steps. I already explained how I use storytelling to get more retention. Now it's time for step 2.
And the last folder for money, so cash registers, coins, or bills for any cash related animations. I usually use this personally when editing for clients, let's say, and he mentions money, how much money he's made in the last 30 days, his channel generated this much revenue, maybe I'll have cash appearing on the screen, and I'll add a cash register sound effect. And maybe even have a number counter where it's like you're counting up money. So if in the context of the video, if he's talking about money, and let's say you're animating a number counter to like 100K, you could basically have like a money printer sound effect. So with these categories in place, you'll always know exactly where to pull from. And honestly, this setup covers like 95% of animations that you'll ever work on. In most cases, you can grab something from here and instantly take your sound design from basic to cinematic. Now, the third category of our workflow is impact and emotion. This is where you emphasize an edit, a cut, or make a moment feel heavy and meaningful. Think of it as the emotional weight behind your visuals. In this folder, I break it down into 3 subfolders. We have hits and impacts. These add shock or emphasis during a moment of reveal. But usually, before an impact or hit, it's preceded by creating anticipation, aka using risers or reverse risers. These build tension leading up to the reveal. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say reverse sounds, just listen to this. It's that suck-in effect before a big impact or reveal. And then thirdly, we have cinematic booms, which are similar to the hits and impacts, but the only difference is they're longer and more deep. So think like movie trailers. Once again, I'm gonna show you 2 examples. Listen to the difference. Here's a quick rule of thumb that you can follow. A hit, a quick punch, short. Impact, umbrella term, meaning it can be hits or heavier thuds, and then cinematic boom is long, deep, and has more weight to it. So it's bigger and better for dramatic moments. So like I said, think of like trailers, epic scenes like the Avengers. Now fourthly, we have atmosphere. These are longer sound effects that are designed to set the mood and make a scene feel more immersive. Think of them as the background layer that pulls the viewer into your world. Here's how I break them down. Drones. These are continuous tones in the background that build tension, suspense, or even a sense of mystery. Perfect for holding the audience in anticipation. Secondly, ambience, which is background noise that makes the scene feel real. This could be street sounds, crowds, wind, or even the sound of a busy house, or even a fast food restaurant. For example, I used it in my Wojak McDonald's animation. I added the people chattering and machines beeping noises in the background to set the atmosphere that we are in a McDonald's.
Put the fries in the bag, bro.
Okay, man, you don't have to be so rude.
Fourthly, we have echo or reverb, which is great for making a single hit feel massive or creating a sense of distance. In simple terms, you can add more emphasis on something. After that, we have fire, which is my favorite. So flames, crackles, sparks, and basically ideal for destruction, so hype-filled moments in a video. I've used this a few times in animations that I've created for AI Guy. Whenever he talks about blowing up, going viral, getting a lot of views, or like the content being absolutely fire, I usually layer these in because it adds more intensity and impact to the scene. Just take a look at these examples.
Some of the hottest and most profitable YouTube automation niches out there.
Keep getting a steady flow of views, and eventually one of the videos will catch fire and go viral. Videos going viral left and right. And what I discovered
After fire, we have the complete opposite. So water, and also we can say nature. So ocean waves, rain, rivers, birds chirping in the background. These instantly bring calm and pretty much a sense of peace to the scene. For example, in my video, during this 3D scene where I was quoting something famous, I wanted to create a sense of peace. So I layered in the sounds of nature, birds chirping, crickets, water flowing. All of these subtle details make the scene feel alive and believable. Another example is this underwater fish scene. I added ocean ambience so we can feel like the weight and depth of being underwater. For my next folder, I have sci-fi or futuristic ambience, so synthetic hums, techie drones, space atmospheres. So these are like great for like futuristic and digital edits. Basically, it gives off like this futuristic vibes, and honestly, these sound effects can be really good for UI animations. And then finally, we have crowd/human atmosphere. So chatter, applause, gasps, or laughter that can add life and energy to an otherwise empty scene. Atmosphere sounds are powerful because they don't just sit in the background. They directly affect how the audience feels and kind of guides their imagination. Just think of a horror movie. Usually what's scaring you is not even what's about to happen. I mean, it might be, but like usually it's not what's happening. It's kind of the background sound that you're hearing. So without these atmosphere sounds, or I should say sound effects, your edit might look polished, but it won't feel immersive. And finally, the last category in our workflow is time and progression. These are sound effects that communicate the passage of time. So countdowns or even a sense of urgency. They're subtle, but when used at the right moment, they can completely change how your audience feels. So here's how I break it down. We have clock and time ticks. So that's obviously to create suspense, tension, or simply show time moving forward. For example, in sports edits, Mr. Beast challenge videos, or any type of 1v1, clock ticking sound effects are used to build suspense right before the payoff. Just take a look at these examples.
I just started this 10-minute timer, and when it hits 0, that room all the way over there full of money will explode.
Then we have number counters. So whenever a number is animating up or down, I like to layer it with a sound effect. This could be a digital data style effect, or even something more creative, like a cash printer sound for money-related edits, like I mentioned previously. And then we have heartbeat pulses. Now this doesn't really need its own folder, you can kind of just slap it in there. But pretty much this is just another way to represent the passage of time while creating more tension or suspense. You'll usually use this before something big is about to happen, kind of like risers. The key with this category is that it doesn't just tell the viewer that time is passing by, it makes them feel it. Used properly, these effects create urgency and anticipation, keeping the audience hooked until the very last second. And that, my friend, concludes our 5-step sound effects workflow. Now, we move on to part 2 of this video, which is how to pick the perfect background music by emotion. Most editors just slap random background music on a video, but the top 1% of editors know the importance of picking tracks based on how they want the viewer to feel. Now, in order to pick out the right background music, we first need to identify the vibe we're going for. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is, how do I want the viewer to feel while watching my video? Or what's the emotion that I'm trying to invoke in my audience? So just like we broke sound effects into categories with 5 simple steps, I've done the same thing here with music. These categories will help you find a perfect track every single time. Here are the main emotions to think about. First, we have high energy/hype. What is the purpose? To get the viewer excited, pumped, and locked in. So music like this is perfect for intros, challenges, or basically high intensity sections. For example, Isaac uses this style at the start of his videos, like in his YouTube Shorts guide.
My Shorts channel has over 20 million views and many viral videos, but my recent Shorts aren't really doing well.
Secondly, uplifting or motivational. And the purpose is to inspire, and basically in the name, motivate and give the viewer a sense of progress or possibility. You'll often hear this in success stories, podcast intros, or documentaries, especially towards the end when someone is reflecting on their achievements.
If you're standing all the way in the beginning and you're looking at the end of the journey, it might seem impossible.
And I do want to mention something. Certain tracks can be mixed. Like I can have an uplifting motivational track, but it also feels cinematic and has some hype to it. Moving on, we have dark/tense. So the purpose is to build suspense, mystery, or seriousness. This works incredibly well with storytelling edits, documentaries, or just topics with a lot of weight. For example, Iman Godzi videos on escaping the rat race, retiring your family, or money struggles. Just listen to the intro of these videos.
So, I don't know how many of you guys played video games growing up, or maybe even still play video games, but I can tell you that once you realize that this game of entrepreneurship, this game of business, this game of...
My friend, social media is not real life. Instagram is not real life. And as you embark on your entrepreneurial ventures, I really just want to set your expectations clearly with this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, I get so annoyed, I get so frustrated, I get, quite frankly, so angry at some of the advice that I see out there. It is irresponsible. It's insane.
Then we have sad and emotional tracks. And the purpose, of course, is to create empathy, vulnerability, and like I mentioned with the last one, it's also good for basically topics with heavy weight, so seriousness. These tracks, you'll see them in personal stories, charity content, emotional reveals in a video, or legacy style documentaries. So if someone has passed away and then there's like a video about him and what he's done in his life and the impact, usually you'll have sad and pretty emotional background music in that video. But in general, anytime you're announcing something unfortunate, sharing a setback, or highlighting a problem, an emotional background track can be used to elevate that moment and make it resonate with the viewer. Or you could just have no sound at all for that specific part. Here's an example of Mr. Beast doing this.
And because their bond was so powerful, what came next was the worst thing that's ever happened in one of my videos. And because...
And here's something important to remember. I almost never use just one track for an entire video, especially in longer edits. I'll switch between multiple tracks depending on the section. This not only keeps the pacing fresh, but also allows me to control the flow of emotions, not just through visuals, but through the music itself. The fifth on our list is chill, lo-fi, and relaxing type of music. So the purpose is to keep the viewer comfortable and focused. This is great for tutorials, casual explanation, or any sections where you kind of just want to keep the focus without pretty much overwhelming the viewer. I personally use this a lot when making editing tutorials. But in general, if something is really not that serious, like someone talking about his top 10 favorite soccer players, you could use a chill background track. Then we have cinematic and, those epic moments. So the purpose is to make something feel big, dramatic, or basically emphasize, hey, this is important, something big is happening right now. So think trailers, battle scenes in movies like The Avengers, dramatic reveals. But in terms of YouTube, Isaac also used this. Here's the example.
Just a few simple effects and some ancient Photoshop sorcery that I learned from this guy.
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm still here. Got stuck in this timeline.
And then lastly, we have like funny and goofy type of tracks. So the purpose is to lighten the mood, add humor. This is perfect for meme edits, brain rot, to gaming type of content. Back when I first started editing gaming videos, this type of music was everywhere. Out of all the categories, this one is the most straightforward. It's really a matter of context and timing, nothing more. So once I know the vibe I'm going for, the process of actually finding the track is pretty easy. I'll go on Artlist or Epidemic Sound and search using keywords, and you can honestly get ChatGPT to help you with this. For example, if I'm trying to build mystery, I'll type in words like mysterious, dark, tense, or eerie, and you can ask ChatGPT to help you by giving, you can literally tell it, hey, give me keywords, I'm trying to find tracks with this vibe, this emotion. Then I'll scroll through, listen to the options, download the ones that stand out, and test them directly in the video. And look, if the track doesn't fit, I'll just swap it and try a different one. It's like you can do trial and error here, and I get it, it's not really the most exciting part about video editing, and honestly, it can feel repetitive, but it's absolutely necessary and you cannot rush this. So take your time and try to find multiple tracks for the same section of a video so you can see what fits best. And with that being said, let's move on to part number 3, the final part, which is the live sound design example. So if you've made it this far, congrats. We've successfully built our optimal sound effects pack, broken down every step of the workflow, and learned how to pick the right background music based on the emotion we want to invoke in our audience. But now it's time for the real test, putting this all into practice. In part 3, we're going to sound design an actual video together, And for this, just like I mentioned, I'll walk you through exactly how I built the sound design for my intro. Alright, so here is the breakdown. So pretty much what I'm going to do is go through the first 30 seconds of the intro. And if you don't know the video I'm talking about, I'm just going to have it up on the screen. It's that intro. And pretty much I'm going to show every single sound effect I used, why I placed it there. And honestly, I think you're not going to have a hard time understanding this. It's pretty straightforward stuff. So pretty much everything you've learned so far, here's how I've applied it to an actual video. So we'll start with the beginning. In this animation, let's just play it first. 365 days ago, I decided to take... Okay, I do have the background music disabled for this, just so you can hear the sound effects more. I had a bunch of calendars. So I was saying 365 days ago. So I had a bunch of calendars basically going behind them to represent the passage of time. And what I added is simply a long, deep whoosh sound effect. And by the way, you do have all of these sound effects that you can download in the description below. All right, so very simple there. 365 days ago, I decided to take... And then now, every single time I appear text all of a sudden, because this is the intro, so I don't do this for every time I show text on the screen because that would not be good, the viewer would get annoyed. But pretty much, pay attention to the sound you hear. It's a spacebar sound effect every time text appears. Days ago, I decided to take the biggest risk of my life. Now, you're also going to hear a riser. So I added a riser sound effect right here because I haven't revealed yet what I'm about to reveal. So I'm building anticipation. What is this risk that I took? And then after the riser, I obviously added a cinematic boom right after it. Risk of my life. I left university in order to pursue what... There you go. Very simple. Nothing much here. It goes into black screen. Characters typing, so I add a keyboard typing sound effect. Pretty much all I'm doing, guys, when I'm editing is I always ask myself, whatever is happening on the screen, can I put a sound effect without it obviously ruining it? Can I put a sound effect, that will benefit this scene, make it better? Or if I can't, well, it's fine. You don't always have to have a sound effect. But most likely, if you're watching this tutorial, I have a feeling that most editors, they use less sound effects than they should, because you can stack sound effects, okay? And this is all the sound effects I used only in the first 30 seconds. The timeline is crazy and I'm going to show you after. So here we just had a keyboard typing sound effect. Or more specifically, video editing. And then a cinematic boom to emphasize this moment as it goes into a dark screen. Video editing. If I do play it with the music, you're going to see. Or to pursue what I loved. Content creation, or more specifically, video editing. You see, I was 18 years old at the time. Okay, now with this scene right here, this is a scene that took me days to make, by the way. It's a 3D scene. I was still learning it as I was making it. And honestly, the project file is such a mess. But pretty much, what I had here is the camera is going to rotate around. So when it rotates first, well, we're going to need to add a whoosh, right? Every time there's a movement, we need to add a whoosh. So I added another deep whoosh sound effect, basically another variation. And by the way, if you're wondering where I get these sound effects, it's mainly from Artlist and Epidemic Sound. See, I was 18 years old at the time. So as you can hear that, there's a deep whoosh sound effect. And then I have a window behind the screen and there's rain. So what I'm going to do is just make this louder for now so you can hear it. Years old at the time. I had less than 100 subscribers and no money coming in. Okay, so you can hear the rain and the thunder. I added that. I was 18 years old at the time. I had less than 100 subscribers. And then the camera's going to move again. So I added another deep whoosh sound effect. And no money coming in whatsoever from editing. And this channel, as you can see, very simple. This is going to zoom out. So we had a transition whoosh right here. And actually, I'm pretty sure this transition comes with the transitions I use from my plugin, Premiere Composer. Well, it's not mine, but I don't know why I said that. It's a plugin that you 100% should get. If I go here to transitions, I can't find it. Oh yeah, there we go. Camera zoom, zoom out. I pretty much applied this and it already has a sound effect from editing. And this channel that you currently see, now here is a perfect example of experience is going to help you with sound design as you just edit more videos and become better. As I zoomed out, I added this vibration low end sound effect. Just listen. And this channel that you currently see, you hear that? This kind of acted like a riser or a way to build anticipation before I revealed something. So I basically have a pause. I say, and this channel you see, and then there's a 1 second pause. And this, I don't know, with the music I chose, it sounded right. So if I just play it, and this channel that you currently see didn't exist. You see that? And I even lowered the sound of the music here. And I added, I'm pretty sure, constant power. So if I play the music, from editing. And this channel that you currently see, So basically, my idea is like when I had this pause, when I said this, I wanted to have like a pause for like 1 second before I went to the, like this right here, the channel not found. So I wanted to reduce the volume and this just fit perfectly. Like if I remove it, you're gonna listen. It sounds fine, but you can see the impact just one sound effect has.
And whatsoever from editing. And this channel that you currently see didn't exist.
Right? And then when you play with it,
and this channel that you currently see,
it's just so much better.
Didn't exist.
Now, obviously, when I go here, my idea was, okay, channel didn't exist, so we're gonna have a channel not found, and I'm gonna have a glitch sound effect, and then I had this holographic, I guess you could say, yeah, holographic glitchy effect on the text. So if I play it, you can see the light, the glow on the text is flickering.
Didn't exist.
So I added a light flickering sound effect. Very simple. Whatever happens on the screen, you add a sound effect to make it feel real.
Didn't exist.
So in this video, it zooms back in. So here I added my own transition whoosh sound effect. Money in a bank account. So I added a money printer instead of data.
So in this video,
so right here is money cash printer sound effect.
So in this video, I'm going to show you how much.
As you can see, the graph is also animating. So I added a marker. It's called a medium permanent marker stroke.
In this video, I'm going to show you how much I earned and these.
Okay, so everything has a sound effect to match it.
I'm going to show you how much I earned and these.
Another zoom out transition right here. The sound effect's already applied.
Step process.
Cursor. Basically, my idea here is you're gonna copy the blueprint, like you're copying something on your PC. So you obviously have to click. So there's a clicking sound effect.
Step-by-step process I used in which you can copy to successfully. Step-by-step process I used in which.
Okay, and then here the cursor is gonna go from the bottom right to the middle. So there's another whoosh sound effect.
Used in which you can copy to successfully kickstart.
Then another clicking sound effect.
Your own editing.
And then here I kind of wish I didn't want to click copy. I kind of wanted just for you guys to see it. So I added another impact or a hit, a bass drop.
Start your own editing career. But for you to see how.
Now over here, I had a transition. So this pretty much these adjustment layers, it blurs in to out. So this sound effect is there to also, let me just disable this first. So you can hear it.
Kickstart your own editing career. But for you to see how all of
right, so you can hear it. It has a good impact. Without it, I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
Editing career. But for you to see how kickstart your own editing career. But for you to see how.
So obviously with it, it's much better. A sound effect to kind of go along with the blur in to out, right? Because this right here, this whoosh starts kind of like slow. Then it gets like, well, if I go to the waves here, it goes really high and then back down. So it just fit this perfectly, right? It was really quick. So let me re-enable these.
Your own editing career. But for you to see how all of this became a reality, we need to start from the beginning.
Okay. So here, multiple things. This wasn't actually, like, I deleted the sound effect that I got from this B-roll clip. I added my own alarm clock. And then my own, basically, what I did to find this took me a while. But he hits the alarm clock and explodes. So I kind of just searched up like something getting smashed, glass breaking. It took me some time and then eventually I found this and it fit. So if we just listen.
We need to start from the beginning.
And then this, what you're hearing, this loud like whoosh sound effect, it's like a riser mixed with a whoosh. Like it fits really well. If I remove it, you're gonna notice this, like the quality of the scene already drops.
Reality, we need to start from the beginning.
And then with it,
we need to start from the beginning.
Right? So this is, again, another example of like where experience is going to help you, right? As you just basically edit more videos in sound design. Because if I, let's say, edited this video and I published it without this sound effect, you still would have thought this video was great. But it's until you see the really high quality stuff that, like, if I let you watch this video without most of these sound effects, like if I disabled 50% of these sound effects, you're going to be like, this video's trash now that you heard it with a lot of sound effects applied. So we had this whoosh and yeah, this like, I don't know the word. It's like a whoosh and a riser mixed together.
We need to start from the beginning.
And then here, it's another subtle impact. And then I also got this is basically a cinematic boom. And that's pretty much it. This is a riser that goes into the next scene. And then here is an old dial phone sound effect to go along with this day number counter thing. And then boom. And if you watch the video, you already know what happens. So like if I go back to the original timeline, this is how it looked like. So pretty chaotic, lots of sound effects used. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do in this video, show you the importance, right? Even when I disable one sound effect, you see how much, well, how much worse it gets. Like if I go back to here, video editing. Like this is needed. More specifically, video editing. Right, without it, it's so much worse. I was 18 years old at the time. I had less than... So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I broke down every single sound effect here. I don't think I missed any single one. But yeah, that's pretty much why I added every single sound effect. Look, this is how important it is, right? Like I said in the beginning of this video, it's 50%. It's half the video. You can have a 5, you can have amazing visuals, but it will be a 5 out of 10 until you get good with the sound design. So if this helped you, please consider subscribing. Leave a like on this video, and if you want, go join the waiting list below. If you want one-on-one coaching, I go more in depth, how to get clients, all that stuff, how to succeed as a video editor. Everything will be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching.